Hi guys, today we are gonna make finally a tutorial on how we do the ribbing around the hood. It's gonna be crocheted, and then the actual ribbing that's folded in pink is gonna be knitted. So I'm gonna put you guys overhead, and we are gonna start with attaching the squares together with a slip stitch method, and then I'm gonna show you how we crochet around the hood and then how we knit around the crochet part. So stay tuned to make your own hood. All right guys, let's get started. So we are gonna assemble our squares, and I'm just gonna show you how I do my slip stitch. This is how it's gonna look, right? And then you have your 5 squares at the bottom. 3, 4, 5. So the way I like to slip stitch is I like to go at the top first, then I go down, over and down. Then I'll attach this square. Then I'll go sideways, over, sideways, and then I'll do the same thing like this. So let's get started. So grab the yarn that you're using for your background. This is the one I'm using. And I'm gonna use the same hook, so 3mm hook, the one we used for the crochet squares. So slip knot on the hook. Go into that corner chain where we did +2 on both sides, lining them up. And we're gonna go in with our yarn, pull the yarn through, and pull it through that loop. Now it's securely attached and we're ready to start. So now you're gonna line up your work on both squares. So just make sure so we're gonna go in this stitch right here, and then the stitch where it's before the double crochet. Pull the yarn through and then pull it through. So we're doing slip stitches. Go into the next chain, front and back loops. So you should have 2, like a V shape on there. Go into the other square, also a V shape. Pull the yarn through, pull it through. And try not to make it too tight because you're still gonna put this over your helmet. So you wanna keep it loose. So, and you're just gonna go back and forth, slip stitching. Keep your tension loose. Also yarn does stretch, so it's okay. So pull through, pull through. So go into the loop, the chain on top. You should have that V-net, V-stitch. The other one, pull the yarn through, pull the yarn through. You're just gonna continue doing that all the way. So continue doing it all the way, and I'll meet you guys at the end to show you how I do the other side, attach the other square, sorry. Just gonna speed it up real quick. There's other methods that you can find on YouTube. This is the one that I've been using for all my hoods, and it's very simple. Nice, and we're nicely lined up. If you're not nicely lined up, just undo it and do it again. See what happened. Okay, so we're back in the corner. So if you unfold, this is how it looks. Pretty neat, right? So now we're gonna add the next square. So I'm gonna do my square like this. I try to avoid having these ends on the outside because remember it's gonna be 1, 3, 5. So I like to put them, down or attach it even to this square. But I think what I'm gonna do is later I'll attach the square like this, and again it'll be easier for me to tie these together. Just kind of thinking ahead of time. So now we have this next square. So again, we're gonna flip the square over like this because it's gonna be the wrong side. So we finished our loop and it's on this side, on our square on the right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my hook through it, pull the yarn a little bit tight, and then I'm gonna go straight into the space 2 chain on the new square and attach it to the one we're going to, so the orange for me, and slip stitch. So now it's attached, and now we repeat the same exact thing, going through both loops of each square and just slip stitching. That's pretty much it. So let me show you real quick. So after I do that, so remember it's 1, 3, so 1, 2, 3, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after that, so this is gonna come out right here, right? Then I'm gonna attach this square going this way, and then I am going to do another square and attach it this way. And then I'm going to cut off the yarn. I try to cut off my yarn least amount of time. Then cut off my yarn, right? So we did this, this, and this. Then I'm going to add this square right here, slip stitch this side. Then I'm going to go slip stitch this square up front and the bottom, cut off my yarn, and then do another thing where I'm going to start with this square, go from this side, and then attach this one. And we're done. So continue doing that, guys, and then I'll show you how we do the ribbing. I just want to show you something real quick. So when we're attaching this square together, you're gonna have your yarn like this in the hole. So what I like to do, I actually will go through these through this section where we stitched up already the yarn. Just go between those 4 loops and just yarn over and slip stitch. This will keep the corner tighter and closer. And then you start with the yarn. So just go in that corner, find that space, and just continue doing what you've been doing all the way to the bottom. Okay guys, so we finished attaching, and usually what I do, I actually do 5 more squares at the bottom, but I just have 1 more day left, so I really don't have time, and I have orders to complete. So now we're gonna do slip stitch the top square to the sides. So what we do is we're gonna fold it over and just grab again our yarn, slip knot on the hook, and then go through that square like that, or the side, sorry guys, my little guy's right here, so I'm like watching him and telling you. And then again, we're just gonna slip stitch all the way across, and then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So again, go through both loops and slip stitch, just like this. Keep your tension loose again. Oh no, he found the basketball. Keep your tension loose. Awesome, almost done. All right, cool. And then again, you want to finish with the big +2 chain corner. I like to leave my yarn a little bit longer just so I can tidy in, make sure nothing falls apart. So now it looks like this. And now we're gonna do the same thing to this side. And this is what gives you that round shape around your helmet. Super exciting. Back. So continue doing that, guys, and I'll see you at the end when we are finished attaching. Also remember, attach these 2 squares as well if you follow me on my Instagram. Highlight the free pattern tutorial. All right, guys, so hood is done, and that's why I do 5 more in a row, because look how short it looks. But we're gonna add just basic half double or double crochet all around it for a couple of rows. Anyway, let's get to the ribbing part. This is the part that I promised you guys and everyone's been awaiting. Thank you so much for being so patient. So let's get started. So we are actually not going to use a 3mm hook because I want the ribbing around my hood and so the goggles to be tight. So I'm going to be using 2.5mm hook. I got this on Amazon, very nice quality. Again, we're going to use our background yarn because the ribbing, I am going to do it in this color so you guys can see better, but right now we're going to do using our background color. So again, we're going to make a slip knot. So again, slip knot like this, and we're going to put our hook through it. And then I'm going to find the corner piece. So right here in the corner, just one of these chain 2 spaces. I'm going to do this one on the bottom. And I'm going to pull the yarn and slip stitch. So now it's attached. Then I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to do single crochet in every stitch on the bottom row. And I'll show you what I mean. So on the bottom we have 2 squares. So this is the bottom. If you hear me saying the bottom, I'm talking about this section. This is the around the hood. So the side, up, and the other side. So on the bottom, we are doing single crochets. Because we don't really need, if you try this on your helmet, you can tell that the bottom is actually is at good size. You don't need to cover more of the bottom because we're still gonna add ribbon, remember? The part that we do need to cover more is actually the sides and the top of the hood. So perfect. So just single crochet. Sorry guys, I'm going fast, I forgot. So you're gonna go through the chain, pull up yarn, 2 chains on the hook, pull through 2. That's it. When you get to this big section right here, I like to decrease because I don't like the holes on it. So what I like to do is, so I'm gonna go in here. Oops. This is the only part I will decrease, is the big section. So big section is, you know, when we have the chain 2. I like to go in there, pull up a loop. Then I'm gonna go straight into between the 2 squares that I attached. Pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then again go into the big next chain 2. Pull up a loop, 3 loops on a hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then continue single crocheting. Just like that. So single crochet all the way till the end of the bottom square. Perfect. All right, almost there. If I'm going too fast, remember YouTube, you have a button where it's like speed play and you can change your speed. And also just go back. Again, we're at the end of our bottom row. Again, it's the big spaces. So I'm gonna do single crochet right here. And then again, we're gonna do the same thing. So you go in, pull up a loop, go in between, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then go into we're gonna start working on our side and grab, sorry, hold on, let me see what's up. Loop, oh, okay, perfect. Actually, it's gonna be right here. Pull through 2, pull through 2. So now we are on our side, guys. We are gonna start doing a double crochet. You can do double crochet or half double. That's my preference. I wouldn't do single, but because we wanna do more area. So I'm gonna do double. So straight away, I'm gonna go into that big space, double crochet. Double crochet, you just yarn over, going through the chain, pull up the loop, 3 loops on your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2. And you're gonna do this all the way around the hood, except when we get to those big spaces, I'm gonna decrease on this row. So continue just putting double crochet in every stitch. So this is our first row, and I like to do 4 rows to cover the top before I do ribbing. So keep going, keep going. Keep it nice and tight. All right, so we're coming up on that big space, and we're gonna do the same thing, except this time we're gonna do it with a double crochet. So 1 more chain. Okay, so we're at the big space. When I say big space, I mean the chain 2. You're gonna yarn over, you're gonna do a double crochet, pull through 2, yarn over, go in the middle section, pull the yarn, pull the yarn through, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next section, pull the loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 3. And now you have this cluster that's closing the gaps. And then you just continue doing double crochets. Again, you don't have to do double crochet, you can do half double. You can probably do treble crochet as well if you'd like. This is just what I've been doing, and it's been working really well for me, so can't complain. All right, we have, I think, one more square, and then we'll be at the bottom. Cool. All right. Oh. So coming again to the big space. So we are gonna yarn over, double crochet, go through 2 chains, yarn over, go in the middle, pull the yarn up, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go into the next big space, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 3, and then just continue double crocheting all the way. This you could keep your tension tight because this is kind of wide, so tension tightness is recommended. All right, almost at the beginning of our first chain, and you can use stitch marker if you want to see your first stitch, but I just kind of know because I always start on the side. Okay, let's see. Then we have one more decrease because I'll show you this open space. And again, last decrease, we're gonna do yarn over into the big chain through 2, yarn over through 2 and through 3, and then we're gonna slip stitch to the beginning of our first single crochet that we did. Just find that single crochet, pull through, pull through. So we just did 1 row around the hood, 1 row around the hood. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chain 1 again, and again I'm gonna do only single crochets at the bottom. I only do 2 rows of single crochets at the bottom, and then the side and the top is gonna get 4 rows of double crochet. So let me show you how I do that. So so this row, again, we're gonna do single crochets at the bottom. Every stitch is gonna get a single crochet. Then when you get to the side and you start seeing double crochets, you're gonna start doing double crochets, no decreases this time because we already closed the holes. So just double crochet in each double crochet. And I'll meet you guys on the end for our 3rd round. This is where things are gonna start changing. All right, guys, we are coming to the end of our 2nd row. And this is where it's gonna get interesting. So remember I told you on the bottom we don't need that much coverage. So here's my last double crochet, and then I'm gonna slip stitch to the beginning of that chain. So we did 2 rows. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna turn my work. Instead of going this way, we're actually gonna go around once and then back twice. So turn your work, flip it over. And now in that same stitch, in that same stitch, I'm gonna do a slip stitch. So slip stitch, it's gonna be a little tight. So I kind of go by, turn the yarn this way. So we're gonna do a slip stitch, but let's do it in a second. So slip stitch, then a single crochet, then a half double crochet, and then double crochets all the way till the other side, but let's stop 3 chains before we hit the bottom. So just continue doing double crochet all the way in every stitch until the other side, just 3 stitches before. Cool. So double crochet, and we're gonna do that twice. So then we should have 4 rows of crochet kind of ribbing around the hood. So the reason I do not do many decreases at all is because I want you guys to be able to slip off your hood, off your helmet, and have a drink or whatever, you know, like you go to the bathroom. Because before I used to decrease on the bottom to keep it tight, but then you won't be able to take off the hood off the helmet. You would have to like take off the hood from the top of the helmet instead of just like pulling the hood like a, you know, hoodie with a hood in the back. You just put it back. All right, sorry, I hope that makes sense. I'm so tired still. Again, I'm recording a vlog during this, so if you guys watched that part, you can see that I literally just came home from work from my night shift not too long ago, and I'm drinking coffee. All All right, so we're getting there. So double crochet. So this is our third round. And then we'll do the ribbing part. So for the ribbing, guys, I do have two lovely ladies who I tagged on Instagram, who you can reach out if you want to crochet a ribbing instead of knit it. But don't be overwhelmed. I'm not a good knitter. Like, I'm very beginner knitter, and so it just something I learned over time, and it's like the most simplest ribbing you can do. All you need to know is how to knit. There's no purl at all. Okay, so we're coming towards the end. All right. Boom, boom, boom. If you have a better way of making it, guys, go for it. Don't follow my tutorial. This is just something for people out there who just not sure how to go about it. This is just one way of doing it. People have been doing it all kinds of ways. All right. Okay, so let's see. So this is a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So last one, so double crochet. Then we're gonna go back to half double, a single, and in that first single crochet we'll slip stitch. Then we're gonna turn our work around, so this way, and we're gonna do our last round. See how I'm doing. So I did 1, 2, 3 rows. One more row is my preference. So grab that chain that we just had. So we just slip stitched, right? So right away you're gonna go back into that next stitch where you did single crochet, and you're gonna do slip stitch, a single crochet, a half double, and a double. Perfect. And then just go all the way around to the other side and do the same thing. So 3 chains before we do slip stitch. I'll show you. Hope this is simple enough. Comment down below if you guys still need help. I'll do my best to kind of assist you. I'm pretty good at responding within the day. 24 hours. All right, almost there. So, and this is the end because this is our 4th row. And then we'll start doing the ribbing, the fun part. For some. I would recommend you guys trying it, because why not? Do like a little challenge. It's a challenge. All right. So we are almost there. So I'm gonna do it right here. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 more. So you can kind of like play around where you want to put those. You start decreasing. So double. Then I'm gonna do half double, then I'm gonna do a single, and then a slip stitch in the corner, and chain 1 and cut my yarn. Perfect. All right, guys, we did it. So now we are gonna get our needles. I like to use small needles. This is 4mm US 6 needles I got from, I believe, Michael's. Try to find needles that have small wire. This is not a wire, but you know, just because like the bigger it is, the harder it kind of gets. So smaller, the better. And I'm actually gonna use this pink yarn because if you remember Easter, we got yellow, orange, blue, and we gotta have some pink. So I'm gonna grab the yarn, pink, and it'll be good because you guys can see better. I'm gonna grab the pink yarn. Again, Hobby, thank you so much for sending me this yarn. We're gonna make a slip knot, and we are going to, sorry guys, brain fart. We're gonna again start on the corner. I always like starting on the corner. This time you do guys need a stitch marker to have your start beginning. So I'm gonna go right in the corner where we, cut off our yarn and pull up a loop on the other side. Sorry, keep it loose. And now I'm gonna put my needle through it. And then I'm going to pick up stitches all over the hood in every one of the stitch. So here's the next single crochet. I'm gonna pull up the loop. So go in it, grab the yarn and pull it up. If you're having a hard time with the needles, that's what I've had, totally. I was there once. So you're gonna use your hook and pull up the yarn, pull it up, and then just put it on your needle. And we're gonna go around the hood, pulling up a stitch from every stitch we have. So just pull up loop. You might ask, how many stitches do I have? I have no idea, but we're just pulling up every stitch, and it's super easy because the stitches are very easy to tell. So, and we are doing folded rib. So we're gonna do this ribbing when we start knitting for 14 to 15 rows. So, you know, definitely watch something or listen to something or do something because it can get repetitive. So we're on the side almost. So again, if you see a stitch, pick it up. Okay, so now we're at the place where we cut off our yarn. So it's a little bit tight, so you might want to use your hook, but there's that slip stitch, and we're gonna grab that yarn, pull it up, and just keep pulling it up. Yep, there you go. So go all the way around, pulling up a stitch from all around the hood, and I'll meet you guys at the beginning where we're gonna close our circle and get a stitch marker. All right guys, so I just came back all the way to the beginning and I pulled up a stitch. I'm gonna pull up a stitch from the same space as the first chain. So you're gonna want an extra stitch because you'll see why, because we're gonna drop one to close the circle. So I have this stitch, right? And before we put our stitch marker, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the stitch on the left and just slip it over to the right. So put your needle through it to the front and just slip it over to the right. Boom. Then we're gonna grab the second stitch on the left and go pull it through the one on the right and drop it. We're gonna just drop it and then tighten it in the back and then pull this loop that we started with to the left needle. Now we're able to start. Honestly, you can start whichever way. You can just like have it simple and just continue knitting in rounds without doing this, but I've been doing this for so long, I just kind of like a habit. All right, and now we're gonna put our stitch marker and we are ready to begin our second row. So the way I do my knitting, it's so simple. You're just gonna go through the back loop. So, oops, this one's a little tight because it's the, so I'm gonna show you on the next one. So back loop, and then take the yarn and pull it through. So the, sorry guys, brain farts again. So there's the front towards you, and then there's the back, right? Behind you. So we're gonna put our right needle towards the back like this. You're gonna yarn over and then pull it up and then just glide that stitch off the left needle. So again, back loop, yarn over and pull it up and slip that stitch off. And that's all we're doing all the way around for this round. The next round, I am actually gonna do the holes for the string. And then after that, it's just repetition. You're just gonna do this method all the way until you have 14 to 15 rows. I prefer mine 14 to 15 rows. You can do yours longer, you can do yours shorter. It's up to you. So let me do this round and then I'll show you how we're gonna do the holes. So again, real quick, back loop, yarn over and pull it forward. Back loop, yarn over, pull it forward. I just love how this ribbing looks. A lot of times you see ribbing where it's like knit two. So this is called knitting. We're knitting. So knit two and purl two. Purl is where you go to the front, but we're not doing that. That's why I said this is very simple. Like, don't get overwhelmed. It looks like it's overwhelming. And you know, knitting sometimes sounds very overwhelming. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can knit. I'm a crocheter. But you can totally do it. It's so simple. It's all about practice, 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 practice. If it's not going the way you like it, just, you know, unwind it and just do it all over again. And that's what I had to do, you know, when I first started. It was all test and trial, but now I figured it out finally. So yep, so you're just gonna knit like this all the way around the hood until the beginning where the stitch marker is, and I'll meet you guys there. All right guys, we're coming towards the beginning of our row. So let me show you how we do the part for the holes. So all we do, we just do our last chain and then just slip the stitch marker to the right needle and then just continue knitting. That's it, because we already attached everything. So before I go any farther, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the middle stitch of the hood. And this one's so easy because it's the flower one. So whatever the middle of the square is where we stitched it up. So I have another marker for you guys, just so you guys can see better. So if I look at my stitches, this is the middle. So follow your finger. So this is gonna be our middle. So before you get to the middle, so 3 chains before you get, so yeah, counting the middle, you're gonna stop. So continue knitting until 3 chains or stitches, chains, 3 chains before the middle. So again, back loop only is the way I do it. Again, you can do different verb. You can do purl 2, knit 2, purl 1, knit 1, so many different options. I highly guarantee you looking it up because we all have different preference. This is just my preference. Okay, perfect. So getting there. So this is how we make the holes for the string, right? So we're 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 more stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 2 stitches and then I have the middle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my yarn over like a gun shape, and I'm gonna go over and under to make a stitch on my needle, because we're just picking up a stitch. So just, you can wrap it around if you want. So that's 2, but this is the way I do it. So this shape like this, you're gonna go over this one and under this one. There's a lot of videos on YouTube to kind of show you how to do it. This is the way I do it. Perfect. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knit 2 together. So grab the 2 stitches and knit it together. So we went through both loops, yarn over, pull through. Perfect. So now we have this whole, kind of hard to see right now, but you'll see it soon. And then this is the middle stitch, so just knit it normally. Again, we are now going to decrease, but now we're on the left side. So this decrease is going to be different. So we're going to slip 1 loop on our right needle, slip the second, and then we're going to take them back on the left needle, yarn over, and pull through. So let me show that again. So we're going to slip the 2 chains to our right needle, 1, 2. Then we're going to grab our left needle, go through the front, and then we're just going to yarn over, pull through both of the loops, chains, and we're done. So now it's going the right way. And then again, we're going to do that space. So this gun motion, boom, boom, boom. So yarn over and under, boom. And then just continue knitting like normally. And so now we're just gonna literally repeat this, just knitting in the back loops for, like I said, 14 rows. That was it, guys. That was the most exciting part, or the hardest part. So just continue knitting all the way around, guys. And I'll meet you right here just to kind of show you what we did do, what we're gonna do with those stitches that we made holes with. All right, so we are getting to the hole. So let's see. So again, back loop. It's super easy, guys. It's literally just gonna be the same thing. And then I'll show you how to count the rows real quick, and then I'll let you guys go, and then we'll meet up at the end where we're gonna sew the ribbing folded together. By sew, I mean cast off. Okay, so we are getting there. So here is our, you know, loop. All we're gonna do is just gonna go behind it and boom, do that. That's it. Same thing on the left side. Go from the back loop and just do a normal, you know, knit back loop only stitch. Perfect. So now before I let you guys go, let me show you how you count how many rows you've done. So if you look very carefully, we have these V stitches, right, on our needles. So one V stitch, that's one row. Second V stitch is the second row. And then the loop on our needles is actually a third row. So right now I'm on a third row, but we are working on the fourth row. So like if you go from the beginning, you can see there's 3 V stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth row is on our needles right now. So when you get to the 14th row, so we need 10 more rows for me, we're gonna fold it and then cast off with the stitches right here that we cast on. But anyway, we'll get to it later. So continue working 14, 15 rows or even less if you want, and I'll see you guys in the end. So here is our loops. You can see it now better. This is where we're gonna put our, this one's a little bit more tight, but you know, it's good enough for a string. All right, guys, continue working and I'll see you at the end. Okay, guys, you did it. I want you to pat yourself on the back for completing 14 rows. It is not easy. It is not that much fun because it's just repetition. So, and let's count real quick that we have 14 rows. So starting with the V stitch at the bottom with pink. 1, 2, 3. Do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 on our hook. So now we are gonna fold our ribbing, which I'm so excited. This is the last part, guys. You literally so close. Good job. Okay, so back loop only. Back loop only. We don't really need the stitch marker anymore, but I'll just keep it on for a second. So now we are going to fold our ribbing. And what I mean by folding is it's literally going to be folded like this. So we're going to go in our back loop, how we usually do. And then we're going to go and find a loop at the beginning. So find your first pink loop. So you see these pink loops all around the edges. So this is our first one. We're going to pick it up, and we are going to grab our yarn. Pink yarn, oops. I'm gonna grab our pink yarn. So we have 2 loops on a hook, right? The one from the top and the bottom. And we are gonna get our pink yarn and pull through both of them. Perfect. So you should have 1 chain on your hook. Now we're gonna do it again. So back loop at the top and then find that next pink stitch. There it is. Yarn over, like losing my yarn, there it is. Yarn over and pull the loop through both and then just slide it off. So now we're casting off, remember? So I'm gonna grab that first loop or chain and pass it through the second one. Boom, and drop it. Ta-da! All right, now again, going to the next one. Find, so now I don't need the stitch marker. Let me get rid of it. Maybe later. So go into the back loop, find that pink loop at the bottom as well. Grab the yarn, yarn over, go through both of the loops, and then slide the first over the second, like that. And you're just gonna continue doing that all the way around, guys. Slip and over again, back loop, front, back loop, finding the pink, pull it through, take the stitch off, and one over the other. At first it's a little funky, but again, this is your first hood, you know, so it's practice, you'll be good. Also, if you ever do lose your stitches like while you're knitting, I'll have it in my description box, a YouTube video that shows you how to pick up stitches, because sometimes, you know, it happens. So don't freak out. There's so many videos and knowledge out there that you can fix anything with knitting. You just gotta take your time and really look for it. So loop, yarn over, perfect. Yep, and you're just gonna keep going that all the way around. For now, we're working at the bottom. Just make sure you don't miss any stitches, so you should be even amount of numbers. And if it's loose, don't worry about that if this is loose, because again, we're gonna block it. You can block yours, you don't have to. It'll still work without it as well. And then, yeah, the ribbing will totally be fine. It'll look nice and smooth, and it'll go around your helmet nice and tight. Not too tight, but like perfect tension. So yeah, so you're just gonna continue doing that all the way around, guys, and I'll meet you at the end. And again, let me show you. So this is the bottom, right? We see all those pink stitches right there. And then we get to the side, you know, you see this is the side. So here's all the pink stitches. So just continue getting all these stitches attached from the top to the bottom. And then I'll meet you guys at the end when we do our last slip stitch, cut off our yarn, and we're done. Good job. Keep going. Guys, we're coming towards the end. I just want to show you how I chain one and cut off my yarn. So I'm gonna go right there. All right, one more stitch. Cool. The stitch always ends up loose for me. I don't know why, but it's totally fine. It's not a big deal. And then just get in there. Yarn over. If I can. Cool. So we have 2 loops on our hook. Oh my gosh. Needles. Just pull through, and then you have this stitch. So what I like to do sometimes, because you see I do get this little gap, and I don't know, like I'm a beginner knitter, so, but it's totally fine, like you really can notice it. So I like to go to the front and just kind of slip stitch through a couple like rows like that, and maybe like one more. And chain 1, cut off your yarn. I'm gonna use an end. Leave it. End. All right, guys, we did it. You guys did it. I am so amazed how quickly we did this today. It only took me 1 day to do the ribbing and attach all the squares. So it's been really fun. So go ahead and make a string however you like, and then put them through, you know, these holes that we created. And you guys are good to go. Obviously tie the ends and, you know, hide them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.